Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now October 6th of 2021, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Bad Batch, a lot of fans have truly been looking forward to the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney, Lucasfilm, and of course what Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have in store for the new Star Wars TV shows on Disney+. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of fun facts and entertaining things on there from time to time for you guys to interact with. So, we are now in the pretty much early part of October. We're approaching mid-October where we're going to be learning more and more about the Book of Boba Fett. By late October, we're going to be getting that official teaser of the Book of Boba Fett series, followed by the full reveal of the show on November 12th, which is going to be Disney Plus Day, and new details of the other TV shows for Disney Plus as well. So, we do know that Bob Chapek, right, the Disney CEO, is very much hard at work on developing all of these new Star Wars TV shows, you know, be it the Ahsoka Tano series, the Mandalorian Season 3, and so on and so forth. He's doing a lot of great things for the fans. He's trying to move everything forward, and that's also what Jon Favreau is doing. He is dragging in tons of Star Wars Legends content to really bring that back to life, to revive all of those fan favorite stories from the 1990s and the early 2000s. Now, what really does take me by surprise is what Jon Favreau has been saying lately and how he's been a little bit more talkative about the future of Star Wars and his experience with the past when it came to the sequel trilogy movies. So, Jon Favreau has been, you know, a little bit more forward, a little bit more, vivid with the details of everything that happened with the sequel trilogy, everything that happened with the Star Wars fandom back then. And one thing that I think I obviously know about Jon Favreau is that when you look at Jon Favreau as a person, you could just tell that he is truly passionate about Star Wars, and that's exactly why Mandalorian is so in tune with the vision of George Lucas. So, on top of all of this, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars projects, like Star Wars Ahsoka and even the Book of Boba Fett, that is actually set to provide brand new stories to the fans, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are actively developing The Mandalorian Season 3. However, it's described that many changes are being made behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm in order to steer things in the right direction. However, in a recent interview with Jon Favreau, he went on to respond to the fan backlash on a number of things that took place over the years. When Favreau was questioned about both The Last Jedi and Gina Carano, Favreau went on to state that, "I remember back in 2017, when The Last Jedi released, I just couldn't believe the amount of fans that were so upset with the film and what Disney had done with Luke Skywalker at the time. I was just in total shock that the Star Wars community went from this beautiful, encouraging fan base to where so many fans were divided after the 8th film in the Skywalker saga released. It was just so saddening to me to see the fans so happy with Episode 7, at least for the most part in my eyes, to where we headed with the middle film of the trilogy." Jon Favreau went on to reveal that, "I really do feel that yes, they could have handled the film way better than they did. At the time, I was not involved with Star Wars at all, and all I could think about to myself was that Disney completely missed out on so many plot points and that they could have explored that would have been really, the things that could have turned things around." Now, on top of this, guys, Jon Favreau went on to also unveil, at the time, of course, everything of what Jon Favreau has been revealing more and more about The Mandalorian and Gina Carano and how he feels about The Last Jedi. He went on to also unveil that this was the reason why Lucasfilm stepped back from doing the annual films, which I was enjoying for a while. It was terrible to see the movies go on a hiatus because of the backlash. I think that we should have just stuck to our plan and kept on releasing films every single year. Because as much as I love our plan for Star Wars TV shows, Star Wars belongs in the movies. Let me stop right there for a second. So, Jon Favreau is absolutely correct on this. I feel that they should have kept or stayed on course of releasing movies every single year. In fact, the Kenobi series was meant to be a Kenobi movie for 2020. Obviously, we know that didn't happen, but they went on to make Star Wars TV shows instead of making them into actual movies. So I just feel that, movies could have, really kept that Star Wars, fan base at heart alive, as long as they stayed positive and kept things right for the fandom. Moving on. Now, and thankfully he goes on to state that that is something that we are going to continue to do in the very near future when it comes to films. Favreau went on to also unveil that I believe that when you're a director or a writer, you need to take some responsibility and that you need to be very careful with fandoms like Marvel or Star Wars. Especially Star Wars for sure, because this is something magical and philosophical at heart. It's something entirely of its own, and I want to protect and keep it fresh for the years to come. Me and my partner Dave Filoni are going to make sure that the fans won't experience any kind of backlash like what happened with The Last Jedi or with the sequel films as a whole. We want to stay very close to what the fans are asking for, and that this is our motive to succeed with the franchise. We are going to do unexpected things with your fan favorite characters like Luke Skywalker and others that will turn things around. I am very sure of all of that and cannot wait. Now, apart from this, Jon Favreau also went on to explain about everything related to Gina Carano, of how he felt very bad about her leaving Lucasfilm and getting fired by Kathleen Kennedy. We've heard this time and time again about Gina Carano. And when you look at everything related to The Last Jedi, this is where Jon Favreau, alright, finally is able to open a little bit more up about his experience as a fan at the time, watching Star Wars Episode 8 in theaters. Gotta remember that back in 2017, Jon Favreau had no connection to Star Wars on a professional level. So he was watching that as a fan and could not believe of what Disney had done to Luke, of what Disney had done to the overall structure of the sequel trilogy movies. So he himself even went on to admit that Episode 7 started off pretty decent. And I agree, it started off pretty decent. I wouldn't say that Episode 7 was the best Star Wars movie, but I would say that absolutely it opened the gateway to possibilities. They played it safe, sure. Did it have a lot of similarities to A New Hope? Absolutely. Did it seem a little boring at times? To me at least, yes it did. But at heart, it was an entertaining movie, it was fun, and it made you wonder, right? It had that thing in the back of your mind about Luke Skywalker, where he is, what is he doing, how are they going to find him, and then once that final shot closes in, it really got you ramped up for what's to come in the next 2 years at the time, leading up to 2017. And that's exactly why so many fans had so many issues, right? There were so many ideas being tossed back and forth by Lucasfilm, and they chose to stick to Rian Johnson's route. And Kathleen Kennedy allowed all of that to happen on purpose, obviously. And it just did not resonate with fans. It just didn't. And still to this very day, you would think that if it was maybe a film that was a little, on the pushy side of things by the director, it could have been aging in a different way. Some fans like to say it could have been something like the prequels, how the prequel trilogy got bad reception back then, but then grew on the fans for the next couple of years. This doesn't seem to be the same case. The Last Jedi as a film, to me it's still a very bad film, in my point of view. Obviously, I don't think it improved with time, as many have suggested that it may have, but that's just my take on things. So Jon Favreau, I think he's on point. I think he's finally being more talkative about the issue. Let me know what you guys think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.